Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So today I'm going to show a few ways that you can add texture to your paintings, art journal, ATC card, what have you, with things that we use around the house in our art adventures, I guess. I get asked this a lot, and yes, I know I will be doing the modeling paste with the glue and the baby powder and all that kind of stuff. That'll be coming up, but this is just very simple, very easy. Um, I don't know how many of you guys, I reuse paper towels over and over and over again. So you see what I'm saying? Okay, so you get like different painted papers. I love using those in my art dolls, but you can also use them as texture. And if you look, you can see these are just papers that I had used, and then we did some beads in the glue. So we're going to paint over one just so you can see the texture that it brings. And I think I'll do the biggest one. This one's already kind of blue, so you don't have to paint over them. And this one's a beautiful, yeah. And these are beads. Now, let me talk about this first. I think these are size 10. I'm not sure, beads, but if you go to the dollar store, if you go to a craft store or what have you, and you find clearance stuff, and let's say they have a weird color maybe that you don't like, but they're smaller beads, buy them. Don't have to be clear or anything, because this is just used with white glue, all school glue. These are Mod Podge, and just to kind of show you, and Mod Podge can definitely do this too, but that you can add other texture. I used these big ones so you could see them better. Don't pay mind to my nails. They're a little mess. I got to do them tonight. But anyway, so let's do this. So what you want to do is, they have a lot of companies have. This is Martha Stewart. This is a multi-surface satin paint. And I'm going to go here. Let's say we're doing our background. And you've not done anything else, but you want to do pinks and greens or what have you. You want to make sure that you glue these down, and I'm going to show you. This is just, I don't know what the heck that is. This is just paper towel. Let's use this one. You see how dirty and delicious this is. So I'm going to save half of it, and I have this. So now what I'm going to do is go into, let me move my thing back here. I'm just going to dip this into water. And I'm going to squeeze and squeeze. You don't want any water left in it, or as much as you can get out. I mean, it depends on the day how well your hands are working. But you want it wet. Wait, I got to drop my hands a little bit. You want it wet all the way through, if you can. Okay. And I'm going to use, where is my matte Mod Podge? I'm just going to use matte Mod Podge. Now, you guys know I love Mod Podge paper, but a lot of you ask for me to use regular Mod Podge more often, so that's what I'm going to use today. So this is Mod Podge matte. You can use Mod Podge paper. You can use white school glue. You can use whatever you have. And so I have this, and I think this will be too big for this little area, so I'm just going to cut it. And that's the fun thing, is you can adapt it to whatever you want it to be. And then I'm going to take a brush, and I'm going to wet it a little. Oh my, you couldn't see. I was like, did you see what happened? I'm going to wet it. I'm going to go in with the glue, and I'm going to put it down on whatever I'm working on, whether it's an ATC card. This is going to be about an ATC card size with my judgment. Who knows what it ends up. And then you just take whatever side you want, lay it down, and then what I like to do is just kind of, for texture, mush it in. Okay, and if you need more glue underneath, go ahead, but we're going to be putting glue on top as well. So you can see I'm getting a lot of texture. Here's some of the piece of cardboard or watercolor paper, whatever this is, peeping through. Now I'm going to take some more of the glue and put peeping through more of the glue. No, sleep till. Okay. And I'm just putting it down. I was just listening to the Beastie Boys, so everything's going to rhyme because I got the time. I'm not even going to do it. Not even. Okay. So you can see, and you can push it down as much as you want. If you want it to lay flat, and you only want a little bit of texture, if you want to put it into a shape, which, you know, if let's say, you know, I love hearts, so I'm going to move that in, and I'm just going to go around while it's still wet, and you can put more glue on your brush as well. And you can see I have that. Just going to move this down, move these little sides in. Might be a little bit too much paper for a heart, but you just make it work, Tim Gunn. Okay, and you want that nice point. Now remember, we can go in. Well, I kind of like a lopsided heart because that's me. But you can go in and pull some of that off if you think you have too much of that. It's like we're paper macheing, but we're just doing some fun stuff. Okay. But you see how I'm going here? Look at that. It's like we're doing clay. And of course you can use clay as well if you want. You do whatever you want. And you see, we have a heart. And I'm going to go in one more time. And this is, you know, you might want to use your white school glue for this because, you know, it's maybe a little bit less expensive and you might have it around now. But I love the Mod Podge, and just because I'm cheap and easy, take a coupon, go to your local craft store. Nowadays you can buy offline at Michael's and Blitzy. I love Blitzy. It's a great craft place to buy your crafts inexpensively. You can buy every single craft or art product or piece or, oh God, sewing and quilting and mixed media and acrylic painting, watercolor painting, die cuts, stamps. It's just wow. All the Tim Holtz stuff. Anyway, you can do that. Very cheap. And I will put my link down below if you want to go check it out. I'd appreciate it. I only get a couple cents from it, but I do appreciate anything that I get extra because YouTube is weird lately. Okay, so you can see that's all I did. I'll let that dry and then I'll come back and see if it needs any more. Like these didn't, these are thick. They're thick. Okay, now I'm gonna use this pink. It's in satin. I think the color is called Camilla Pink. Excuse me. All right, so I'm just gonna pretend like I'm doing my backgrounds. I'm just doing some squirts. Okay, gonna go in with my, I'm gonna move this out of the way because it's banging my arm. Okay. My brush is wet, and you can see though, and I'm doing it, I'm making it wet because it's going to make this. Now remember, we're going to be doing a whole background of this color to start. But if you only want to paint this part, the texture, by all means, you can shape it into a tree, into a heart, into words, anything that you want. But what I want to show you is, can you see that texture? Now I'm going to rinse my brush off, and I'm going to just kind of dab it dry. And I can go in and pull this off the paper. Let's say I was like, oh, you know what? I really don't want to do that. And then I can take my paper. Essentially, I'll be making another piece of mixed media paper. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? And I covered it. Now you can use a makeup sponge. You can use whatever you want. I'm going to dry it a little bit just so you can kind of see. I'm going to work on this one next, but I just want to get some of that water out. Okay. Now, why did I put my brush in here? Oh, Kelly. Okay, so let's cover these. Again, use a multi-surface paint because, I mean, you can do acrylic. You can gesso it if you want. I'm just going to do like this. My brush is wet, but not soaking wet. And I'm just going to like pound it in. God, the language, Cal. Now, you might need 2 coats. It doesn't matter. If you're using the smaller beads, you're going to have much better coverage. It doesn't matter. You can use big beads. You can use these beads. You use whatever you have or whatever you want or whatever you find cheaper. You can go buy the, I don't know if they're glass or plastic or resin, but you can buy hearts and different shapes and that kind of stuff to do as well. I can just go like up here. I kind of wiped it off a little bit. Yeah, get that heart right there a little bit. I think that's, yeah, All right. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do with this. And as you can see, well, let me just dry it. I don't want it to be glary. You can use your mixed media sprays, everything. But look, so we're getting some texture. Now, again, I made these big for you guys to really be able to see it. Use small seed beads. Those are not obviously small ones, but I want, again, you to see it. If you look this way, it kind of looks like a smashed lizard on the road. Something. That's not what we're going for. And yeah, but can you see that texture? Look at that. And I made that texture by gluing it that way, the same as the heart. See the heart? So, you don't have to feel like you can't have texture or you can't do something. Again, this was starting out of an ATC piece, but size, but it didn't. It ended up as a heart. And let's see, I have some Bombay ink in blue. I'll give it a little shake. Okay. And maybe I'll just, and you can tell that's what that is because I was playing with this, but we'll just put some different colors, just a little bit. We can go back in with a little bit of a damp brush, get that glue off, and that pink. And you see how it's just moving around. It's not dry yet, and the heart's not dry, so it's it leaves it workable, pliable, I was gonna say, but I think that's more towards toilet paper. And this is just going to give you an idea. And like I said, you can mush it what you want, doing what you want. Oh, the Beastie Boys are in my head. It's a shame. Shame for you guys. There you go. And that's a heart. So think about the texture. Think about your, maybe you use, let's say if you use cloth rags, okay, cloth art rags, which I have a bunch here as well. You don't want to use those, obviously. I use them because I don't like wasting my paper towels. And, so I don't. I try to, some don't come out real nice, but you can see these colors. And even if I want to pat this down, which I do, oh, girl, I don't care about that, but just don't end up all over my clothes. But you see now we got a little bit of blue on here that'll dry, add a little bit more color. So you can do all kinds of stuff. You can just use your paper bag from, maybe you go to the grocery store, you don't do plastic, you do paper, to recycle that. You can rip that all up in little pieces, and oh gosh, that's how I make my faux leather. There's so much that you can do, and I hope that this helps you guys a little bit. If you feel stuck or you want to try something different, you can lay a stencil down that has like heart shapes or whatever shapes they might have. You could do your put your paper in like that. I suggest go to the dollar store. You can sometimes get a pack of dollar store toilet paper. They do sell it, separately. I'm using paper towels from the dollar store because they are cheaper quality. It's only 1 ply. So if you have a 2-ply paper towel, rip it apart. But you can get toilet paper there, even 1 roll, and bring that home and just rip it apart, wet it as you need it, and use it. It won't be as rough texture as this. It might work better for you. So let me know if you guys try this. Let me know what you think. I'd appreciate it because I love giving you guys little tips to use at home, especially for those of you starting out. It can be expensive, and I know how I was in the beginning. So there's just a lot of fun to be had with this. So let me know. I love you guys so very much, and please give me a thumbs up and share me. And if you just found me, click that subscribe button down below, the bell next to it for notifications. As always, please be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. Progress, not perfection. Let's play. Have a great day. I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.